Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Blaze Covered Skies. Welcome to Mask Making Monday. We are going to be making a whole bunch of altered paper clips, and I have started the process, so I'm kind of going to work on the middle part of the process. I know I usually start projects on Mask Making Monday, and then you only get to see like the beginning, but we're going to do the middle part today. And the tutorial for this video will be up tomorrow. So if you want to know more in detail about how I make these, go ahead and tune in tomorrow. These have been started already. So I have little packets right here of things that will turn into altered paper clips. But we're going to get these at the same up to the same step as this one. So I will be fussy cutting right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and sit down. So let me see where I am in frame. All right. Okay. So I have these all glued down already. I have this page and then this page as well. So we're gonna go ahead and cut these out. I'm actually going to try to cut this in half because this is like really hard to handle right now because the filming area is so small. All right. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit more manageable. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this excess here so I can reuse this later. I kind of feel like I'm cutting in the dark a little bit just because the lighting is weird because I'm trying to adapt to my current situation so I can film more videos. So the camera is a lot closer to me right now. And it's kind of blocking the light a little bit. All right, so I'm just trimming what I backed down onto cardstock, and I'm just gonna do this a whole bunch of times. So maybe I'll try to get through most of this sheet, and then I'll show you the next step that I do over and over again. Do you guys like working in large batches? I've just found that it makes me feel, it was kind of hard to get into the mode of this. I used to make one journal at a time, and it would take me like a few weeks to finish a journal, and then it started taking me a few months because I just tried to make sure that I'm in a really creative space when I work on each journal. And believe it or not, I figured it was taking me so long to do a journal anyways, I might as well just do a whole bunch at once. And I think that really works for me. Okay, I think I just moved the camera a little bit. All right, but now that I work in batches, it feels much more routine, which I like because I don't like doing just one of something. It takes me longer and I don't feel as productive. So my solution is to do 1,000 of everything. These images all came from one book. I got this book a really long time ago. I got it from the Goodwill outlet. And I fussy cut so many things from this book. And I was kind of saving these. I mean, for this journal, these types of journals for sure. But there's just so many of these little pictures. So I definitely knew I wanted to make a lot of the same thing from these. So right now, as I record this, the Hobby Lobby clearance sale is going on, which I love. I just love that clearance sale. I think because I happened to come across it during the very beginning of me finding out about junk journals. And I just went into Hobby Lobby for probably like the third time in my life during that time because I was in the area with my friend. And I came right when it was having its clearance sale. And that was in 2018. So that was really lucky. And I thought it was really rare. But now I feel like they have their sale every, like twice a year, right? In the summer of 2020, I went there a few times and it was during the clearance sale and I got some really cool things. And it wasn't just the clearance sale, like the 75% off. It was also the spring 90% off. And I got some really cool things. I got this huge chalkboard. It's kind of like on distressed wood, so it looks really cool. And it's not taller than a door frame, but I think it's probably wider than a door frame. And it's normally $89.99, I think. But because everything was 90% off, I got it for $8.99. So I have been to Hobby Lobby a few times recently because I want to use the 40% off coupon that is supposedly going away. I've been buying jigsaw puzzles because I feel like it's a pretty reasonable price by the time you use the coupon. Because I think Hobby Lobby jigsaw puzzles are not too expensive, right? Like they're pretty reasonably priced. So I've been buying a lot of puzzles. But in terms of craft supplies, I haven't found much at all. I think the rubber stamps went on clearance. I didn't find anything. Stickers went on clearance. I bought some alphabet stickers, but that was it. And I kind of missed the boat on everything else. Like I wanted some clear stamps, but they were all gone by the time I came back. As I'm recording this video, I think they're clearancing out their jewelry, which when I went, there wasn't that much. Do you guys shop the Hobby Lobby clearance sale? And if you do, how has it been for you if you've gone? I feel like for me, I don't know if they're clearancing less things, but it's not as good this time around. When I was doing this batch right here, I was watching Marilyn Monroe documentaries, and I think it's so interesting. She died when she was 36 years old. That seems so young. But I always thought she was a little bit older. Not because she looks older, but probably because people seemed more mature back then. Same with like if people I know that are like in their late 30s, they don't seem that old. I mean, when I was a kid, that seemed old. But now it doesn't seem old. But Anna Nicole Smith, I watched a couple documentaries on her as well. And she passed away when she was 39. It's just so young. And Princess Diana, I think was she 36? When I look at people who are 36 now, that just seems, really young. Probably because I'm getting older, but... And then when I read books, like I got my teaching credential in 2012. I don't work with children at this moment right now, but I started getting back into reading a lot of children's literature for what I was doing. And I love children's literature, especially from the 80s. But maybe I'll talk about that in a video sometime. I love nostalgia, and especially 80s things. But I kind of like the edging around there, so I don't think I'm going to trim it down. But in a lot of these kids' books, like chapter books, let's say, do you guys know who Lois Lowry is? She wrote The Giver. She also wrote the Anastasia Krupnik books. And I think Anastasia, she's around preteen or teen in those books. But her parents were like early 30s, I think. Early to mid 30s, at least the mom in those books. And when I was a kid, those parents seemed so old. But now when I think about like a 33-year-old, which I think her mom might be around that age in those books, 33 does not seem old at all. I mean, some 33-year-olds now are like children. Or they're just starting out their lives. And most of them, at least my friends and family, don't have kids that are in high school yet when they're 33. And definitely times have changed, but it's just so interesting to think about, because even like these the 50s, 60s, a lot of the time period that we work with, life was so different back then. Like someone who was 25 it would be normal for them to have a few kids already, but that's definitely not the case now. Like as in the majority of the population doing that. All right, so I actually just have one more, so let me go ahead and cut this one as well. I've been fussy cutting a lot lately, and it always seems like fussy cutting is going to take forever, but if you just kind of carve out a few minutes, maybe 25 minutes or something, you can actually get a lot done. This curvy part is a little bit tricky. I feel like I'm bending the paper and everything. All right. So there we have this little pile. Now that I got that step done, I am going to go ahead and not back it. I'm going to go ahead and trace it onto cardstock. So let me use this one. This is just a hanging file folder. I have a whole bunch of these darker colors as opposed to the manila folders. So I'm going to use this because this isn't going to be, the back of it does not need to be writable area. So that's why I like to use these file folders for this purpose, and save my manila folders, which are useful for a lot more like journaling cards and things like that, where you actually have to write on it, or you want to. And so I'm going to put this down and just trace it. And then I'll figure it out anyways, but kind of put it in the order that I have here so that I know which one goes with which. It's kind of like a matching game once you start cutting all these out. These candy bars look so good. on camera it looks like there's a lot more light than there actually is, but because of the way this is set up right now, I'm like in the shadow here. I don't think that's showing up. I hope that's not showing up on camera. So I just go ahead and trace a whole bunch of these. Maybe move this a little closer. There. I need a skinny piece right here. I actually need to go get some paper clips. I realized that I do not have any metal paper clips, which is kind of a weird thing not to have. I feel like those are just everywhere. I've been working on these retro journals for forever, but there's still so many more elements that I want to make for them. So I think it's going to be a while before I assemble the signatures. That's not my favorite part, like measuring paper and cutting it down to size and folding it. That's like really not my favorite part. And so I do feel like I'm stalling a little bit, but actually not really, because I really want to add in a few more projects. And it's a good thing I'm making videos, because then it's kind of like a project in itself where I can share what I'm doing with you guys. But I am really wondering how these journals are going to turn out. I've been feeling like I was going to work on a set of botanical journals next, which I'm excited about. But I've kind of been feeling like doing just a one-off journal, maybe a few, because I've always wanted to make a Marie Antoinette journal. And I just feel like I don't want to mass make that. I worked with that theme before, not in journals, but I really like to go over the top with that. So that's why I wouldn't want to mass make that. But I think just doing a quick one journal around that theme would be cool. Right, what's the best? That's just like a tiny bit too big. I hope you guys are crafting along with me. Even though this is a mask making Monday, so maybe you guys are mask making something as well. All right. Okay, and this one last one, I probably, if I would have planned better, I could have made things fit a little better, but that's okay. So I am going to just go ahead and cut one out so you can see. I go into a little more detail on the tutorial video that's coming up tomorrow on how I do these, but I cut just a little bit inside the pencil line, and then I'll just go ahead and do this over and over again to make a whole bunch at once. And when you have like a show or a podcast on in the background, it goes by so fast. All right, so there we have it. Now I can add this to one of these piles right here. These little hair, these are little hair elastics, the really thin ones, and they have really come in handy because they're very soft and they don't really bend it. It's not like a rubber band where it's like so, like, it's more stretchy. But yeah, so I will go ahead and go right now. I'm going to continue working on these. I might turn the camera back on as I work on these, but please go ahead and like this video if you like Mask Making Monday videos, and if you have any questions, leave them down below. And if you want to know more in detail on how I go about making these and seeing the completed process, please tune in for tomorrow's video where I have a tutorial on it. But thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.